Jim Messina, VintageDrumsTalk.com. It's that time of year again, the Chicago Vintage and Custom Drum Show, right here in St. Charles, Illinois. It's my pleasure to bring you the show. We're going to walk in for the first time right now. It's the first day of the show. Doors just open. Things are fresh. Let's go find Bunny Carlos like we usually do. Dave Brown's in there, and I know Mike Corrado's floating around. It's going to be a great day. I'm looking forward to it. This is it, guys. Let's go do it. Come on in. Welcome to the wonderful world of vintage drums and custom drums. We know what we're going to do. We're going to go find our vintage guys. Mark Cooper, Dave Brown, Bunny Carlos, Randy Rainwater, Chuck Scalia, Joe Luoma. They're all going to be here. I think I know where they are. I think Mark Cooper's over this way. Let's go take a look. Come on. What can I say? It's time again. Mark Cooper. Mark, how you doing, man?
How you doing, Jim? Good to see you.
I am blown away. You know, Mark and I have been talking a lot about what he's going to bring this year, but to actually see it, I'm telling you, I've seen all pictures of these drums. You've seen us talk about them in the studio, but to actually see them in person, you guys, there's a vibe that comes from this. Look at this. Look down here. Let's pan down and take a look at this, what he brought. Now, this is, Mark, tell us a little bit about what we've got here. This is my favorite color, sea green. Slingerland, I am just drooling. Tell me about it. What do we got?
This is a 1936 Slingerland Radio King finished in original sea green pearl. Extremely rare.
What are our sizes?
24, 13, 16, and 5.5. Or I'm sorry, 5. And originally this was a 28-inch bass drum, and some carpenter or someone expertly cut it down to a 24.
That's not the first time, and we talked about this on our interviews,
right,
that we've seen that. Sometimes, I don't know why, but they had a method of cutting down the widths of bass drums. I don't see it done as much these days, but I'm telling you, this sea green pearl is in fabulous shape. This snare, I'm loving it. This is exact. Now, you guys know that I have a Liberty very similar to this, but this is in primo shape, and I'm so glad that you brought this to the show, Mark. I think it's going to be the talk of the show.
Well, I hope so.
All right. What else do we have to look at this year?
We've got a 1950s Leedy and Ludwig knob tension drum set.
Ah, extraordinary. These drums were what, 1951?
50, 51, 52.
Uh-huh. Fantastic. I see we've got just a single floor tom. I think you have a, oh, well, you did bring the second floor tom. Great. Beautiful set. Classic.
See, these long ones are floor toms, Jim.
I see. Gotcha. Simply beautiful. This finish is in great shape. I'm assuming all your knobs, everything works, because these...
Everything works.
These drums, and we've talked about it before, they were a big flop because of this mechanism, which is not a new mechanism. It was done, what, WFL? The war days?
And the LNS
right?
drum company.
It's not a new concept, but George Way, this was his last-ditch effort. This was pretty much the death knell for George Way and his drum career,
pretty much,
really.
Drummers did not take to them, and as a result, I think the company sort of eventually went out of business.
And that's right. To find a whole set like this is really something. That's what Mark Cooper's famous for. He's got primo stuff all the time. Speaking of primo stuff, let's take a look back there. Here it is, guys, the trilogy. We've shown you this drum. I think we showed it. Right. We've seen these. As Mark got them done by Adrian Kirschler. Adrian is known for refinishing and actually building strainers, reproductions, right? These are fantastic. And to have this here at the show is a great showpiece for this booth. Now, Mark, these are not for sale, right? These are just for show.
They are for sale, but only as a set of 3.
I say, beautiful. Now,
would you like to see the before and after shots?
Yes, we would.
That's not them.
Okay. So Mark's getting around to it. Now this is interesting. A lot of work went into this particular drum. It's on the website. We did a whole interview about it, but it's also been on the forums. But nothing like seeing it from Mark himself. Mark, tell us about it.
This is how I found this drum. It had a non-original strainer, and obviously everything was stripped off of it. And this is what Adrian Kirschler was able to do with this.
Look at that. Now here, this is what he had. This is an artist, basically an artist model shell.
1928.
Okay. Adrian Kirschler transformed it the rest of the way. This is technically a Slingerland Black Beauty now, but you know, we've always thought, is it a reproduction? I just think it belongs in the Slingerland Black Beauty story in the vintage drum community because of who worked on it, the artisan, which is Adrian Kirschler, the fact that Mark Cooper put that together. So this is not just something that somebody threw together to try and make some money on. Great piece, and it goes in this trilogy.
This is what this drum originally looked like when I got it.
All right. And we have this, we used to call this what, like a Thunderbird
That's
engraving?
what collectors call it, that, yeah.
Yeah. So originally, what would that be called?
Leedy Black Elite.
Okay.
1930.
Beautiful. This is the kind of work Adrian Kirschler can do for you. He's an artisan above all artisans. He's a magician. And Mark Cooper uses them all the time for plating, for making repro strainers that you can't get, for redoing black nickel, for making the engraving pop out. The guy is amazing. Adrian Kirschler, fantastic. Now, we also wanted to look back at something that we had brought here previously. I think this drum was here last year. And Mark, what's your intent? This drum is for sale.
Yes.
You think it's going to move this year?
No.
Now wait, the show just started. It's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell, you're right.
Who knows? Tell them once again what this is.
I would hate to see it go, but if some lucky person decides they want to own this, it could happen.
Yeah.
This is a 1934 Slingerland Dual with a tone flange, solid shell, gold sparkle that obviously is a little bit aged.
We looked at this, was it last year or the year before, in our roundtable that we do outside with Bunny Carlos and Mike Corrado, Joe Luoma. We all get together. This was one that we talked about a lot. But Mark this year is blowing us away, especially with this sea green Slingerland set. I think it's the gem of the show. This is going to be the talk of the show right here because it's so vivid, and I'm anxious to see what happens by Sunday or even by the end of today. Very exciting, Mark. I see we have another Leedy drum up here.
This is a 1930, early 30s. It's called onyx finish.
Okay, do they call it black onyx? Or?
It's just called, as far as I remember, it's called just onyx.
Okay,
I might be wrong about that, but
they made it in green,
and
red, and the black.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I see we have the full dress up here.
Yes, that's about a 1933 or so.
I see.
Solid maple.
Mark, you've got some fantastic stuff here.